Um, One thing that's interesting is I don't remember what year before us it became a theme, but there was one year before us where we really took a look at the chronology of fear and the different elements that have magnified it so much. And one of the turning points for humanity really was the 1980s. The 1980s was, they call it, I think it was like the me decade, and Wall Street was booming and the economy was great and so on. And a lot of people were making fast money off of, large lawsuits or big fast money on Wall Street and things like that. But what happened was the idea of risk became enormous in the 1980s. The idea of don't let your children play on the monkey bars, don't let your kids ice skate in a public rink, don't touch anything in public, don't do this, don't do that. Everything was about the perception of risk. And not to call out one particular group, because there's always positive and negative in any profession, but during that period of time, there were a lot of attorneys making a lot of money off of this risk assessment and the ensuing lawsuits that were filed during that period. And when we would start to hear the news about these really big numbers that people were winning because of neglect, or because of whatever, it was termed neglect, even if it wasn't, if it was just life. That burgeoning, massive amounts of money that were passed on to people in more and more superfluous incidents, it changed our perception of risk. There's really nothing that we're doing anymore where we're not signing waivers and we're not, padding places where children play, or we're not saying no to people because we don't want them in there. I mean, it's really quite remarkable. Remember when we used to just be able to do stuff and help people and carry a bag, and we used to just be able to be kind and be friendly and be connected and be caring. Now we're getting more afraid to be kind and caring and connected. People fall, people get hurt, people die. This has been happening since the beginning of time. 1,000 years ago, people were falling and dying in off rocks and off a mossy, rock by the stream, or by having a tree collapse on them, or a coconut, or whatever. They were dying then too, but the families weren't running around suing the person who didn't put up a warning sign that these rocks are slippery near the waterfall, stay off, and they weren't fencing it off. Someone died, and maybe someone learned from it, or maybe they didn't. It's no different than an animal eating poison ivy, finding out the effects of it, and then warning others, please don't eat the poison ivy. This is what we're meant to do. We're meant to have some experiences and share, but we're not meant to hold everyone accountable for every single solitary experience that we have. We're losing our power because we're giving it away. Yes, I would rather not live than to live in that kind of fear. And that's the truth. I don't see how it's possible to have a meaningful and joyful life if you're running and hiding from every single little thing and constantly being cautious about experiencing everything. That's not the way we're meant to live. We're not meant to make our lives smaller and smaller and smaller. We're really meant to expand and to create and to be and to experience and to interact. We're here to be. We're here to, live large. Whatever your definition of large is, doesn't really matter, but we're still here to expand. We're not here to get smaller and smaller and smaller and more closed off. There's a parallel between the number of people that are on anti-anxiety medicine and looking at the direct correlation to the 1980s of becoming incredibly litigious, and then becoming more fear-based because of AIDS, and then becoming fear-based because of this, and becoming fear-based because of 9/11, and then there was Ebola, and now there's this. Whatever excuses we're using them for ways to take the path of least resistance, which is to hide instead of to flourish. instead of to flourish. If you really look at the history of the world, there have been people that have gotten out of some pretty horrible circumstances just by sheer will, because the resilience of the soul, when it's ignited in the human, the resilience of the soul will always win. That soul will get itself out of the most horrific of human experiences. But right now, we're not igniting it. And I don't want to say we're not fighting for it, because it shouldn't be a fight. It should be an ignition, igniting what we know to be true, which is we're here to be happy and free and abundant. We're here to be loving and interconnected. We're here to be creative. We're here to be expansive. We're here to be playful. We're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy each other and nature and possibility. We're here to be unlimited. This is what we're here for, not where we are, not where we're heading. So I do believe that I don't know how much more opportunities for discovery we need for the whole globe, but this will inevitably break something open for a lot of people. There will be a lot of people that get tired of living so far below the line and having such limited choices and seeing their worlds get smaller and smaller and smaller. People will break free of that, because that resilience will start to become ignited again. That resilience will pop open. And no matter how many people pop open from this, it's going to be that many more great points of light that we have to share our journey of being points of light, being beacons of possibility for other people. It's sort of like the weirdest recruitment strategy I've ever seen. How about worldwide virus? Everybody shut down, destroy the economy, don't speak to anyone, and pour alcohol all over every single thing you ever touch. This is our recruitment technique. If you can survive that and still come to a public meeting, you're in. You are a beacon. Here's your beacon badge, beacon badge, beacon badge. You guys are beacons. You've chosen. You've opted in. And we will have more as a result of this. And little by little, every time something happens on the planet that causes people to be tamped down, the more people are tamped down, the more there will be people that rise. Not fight for rising, but rise because they are ignited. So this is an opportunity for a lot of people to ignite. I can hear some people refusing to give in to fear. I can hear people doing things that others are talking them out of. I can hear it and I can feel it.